Well Represent Radio, I promised you an incredible reggae artist, an artist who's consistently revolutionizing the reggae sound of today. We're joined by the iconic Yaadcore. How you doing, man?
Yes, Gully B, give thanks, man. We're there, I represent.
It's so good to see you here, man, because there's been so many wicked things that we've been kind of supporting of your music over the last few years here on the Gully B show. But right now, there's a wicked new single that we're going to be talking about very, very soon that only dropped a week ago. Mm-hmm. But you've been part of this whole reggae movement for a long, long time. You have been the guy in the background, the guy in the foreground, and now you're the incredible artist yourself. So, like, for you, when you first started kind of coming to the music scene, how did you first sort of have that passion for reggae music?
Well, you know, I got a different love for reggae music being connected to Rastafari. You know, I have to say, you know, the music really draw me closer to Rastafari as well as Rastafari drawing me closer. So it works hand in hand, you know, and, you know, I was a DJ before playing, you know, hip hop and, you know, regular dancehall music. And as I said, when I set up Rastafari, you know, that was my urge to, you know, kind of hold a more uplifting vibes, as well as linking with Protege at the time at his come up. You know, that was a big influence on me as well to decide, say, yo, you know, I gotta stop play dancehall hip hop. And I had a son just born as well, you know, just starting to understand music and things. So I never really want to expose him to that kind of vibration, you see me? So that's really my introduction to gay music, you know, with the message.
The positive vibrations have carried you well into your career, because people who might not be people might have only just been familiar with you recently as more as the Yaadcore, the vocal artist, but you know, we take it back to your dubwise parties, man. The stuff that you've done for branch and reggae music across the globe is insane. Like, we look at you holding parties in Miami, Kenya, Ethiopia, and Malta. Like, it was far more than just Jamaica that you were hitting. So how did those parties come about, and what was your ethos behind throwing those parties?
All right, so how dubwise really start now, right? On my journey into playing reggae music only, you know, there are not much spaces that accommodate that kind of vibes in Jamaica. See, Kingston Dub Club, so we have a big up Kingston Dub Club. You know, they were just on the verge of becoming popular. And when I stopped playing, you know, all those other music, as I said, I played at Kingston Dub Club once a month from March to December, seeing, and that was like, that's me playing 10 times for the year as a DJ. So that's, you know, no good. So I decided, you know, I have to keep my own event, bring the music closer to the people. And yeah, so we got some bomb start dubwise, and it became popular, and then I got requested to go on tour. Me and my brethren, Micah Shamaya, we put together a tour, and being the person that I am, I decided to call the tour Dubwise, the Dubwise Jamaica Europe tour. So that was the first international essence of, you know, Dubwise going across the waters, you know. So after we do the Dubwise Europe Africa tour, then that was when the Miami segment really took off, you know.
Well, it's definitely carried well. I'm glad that you throw those parties, because really we'd see that was an iconic moment for the reggae music we know today. When we think of Jamaica right now, people always gravitate first normally to dancehall at this moment in time. They've seen the popular rise in dancehall in how it crossed over to hip hop in recent years. But if it wasn't for people like yourselves and the dubwise parties you're throwing, we've seen the resurgence of artists like Protege, like Chronix, like Coffee, and that's all stemmed from that kind of influence, and to prove that it has that global acclaim. And it's why I said in the initial part of this interview, you've revolutionized reggae music to this day, and you're still doing it on a daily basis. So is that something that you've always been passionate about doing for the culture?
Well, you know, we're just going with the flow. When I made my decision to stay strictly, you know, reggae music, conscious music, naturally it was for a cause, you understand? So, you know, it's really good to hear you make that observation, you know, because not a lot of people are really aware of the impact that a DJ has on a culture. and they're not aware of the impact I had as a DJ as well, representing for the younger generation in music as reggae artists. Understand what I say? So it's all well and good when you see the elders playing reggae, and but when people see a young youth take up this banner, it gives the people a refreshment. You understand? It's a refreshing feeling both for the younger generation and the older generation. So it's just a blessing to be, part of this. I never really planned it just manifests.
Was definitely carried well, man, because I think to this day you're still the only reggae DJ to ever be booked at the Afropunk Festival. I think right now that is still, you are the historical claim to that, right?
True. Well, I'm not sure about the other DJs, but I know I was there, so you are giving me that information now,
Definitely, man. Well, people know that you are the guy that's the flagship artist and the DJ to hone the sound that we know today is the future of reggae music. But outside of reggae music, man, I need to know, because this is something that probably no one's asked you in an interview. I know that you love drifting cars, right?
Wicked.
now that's something I wanted to know, man. I was thinking, when I remember you put up a picture of I think it was like a Toyota Corolla or something like that from like the 80s.
Years ago.
And I was like, oh, hang on, that's not the Lamborghinis or the Jeeps and the G-Wagons you've seen in videos. Now that's some culture right there. Tell me about how you're affiliated to the drift scene.
All right, well, as a youth growing up in Mandeville, there are a lot of drifters in Mandeville, you see me? So, I just got attracted to the whole vibe. I don't really like speed, so drag racing is not really my thing, I like to be coming around the corner sideways. You see what I say? So it's really just influence from the place where I grew up, you understand? And as me say, you see the DX 80s Corolla in my video. I had one really, significant for me to really put one of those cars back in my video,
Absolutely, man. Is that your favorite car for drifting? Have you got a favorite car for that one?
Yeah, I feel like the DX are my favorite drifter though. Yeah, the Corolla DX, In Ethiopia, them call it the 3K or the 4K. Yeah.
Man, I love that. I've been wanting to ask you that question. As soon as I saw that in the video, I'm like, I reckon probably no interview at Yaadcore is doing. We're going to talk about well-deep differentials and all that kind of stuff, man. So I'm glad that we can tap on that, because I thought that was such a wicked nod to the culture of drifting, the art form as it was, and it is that melting pot, as you say, from Mandeville with the music and the drifting culture kind of come together. And I think that's something that's iconic about Jamaica.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. We have to give thanks for the different cultures that are right here in Jamaica. Garnet Silk is also from Mandeville. You get what I say? And drifting is a thing I love, as me say. You have people that do bike racing, you have the biker. You get to me, I say you have the drag racers, as me tell you. So Jamaica is a melting pot of culture, as I said, different vibrations. Because even at a car show, you're going to have music. You understand? So the culture is always merging,
Absolutely, man. I feel as if that melting pot is definitely what's kind of created what's so unique about you. And I love the fact that you stay true to the real sound system culture. So what's your history in sound system been like?
All right, well, so that's really my introduction to music, because my father owned a sound system. You understand? So growing up, I was climbing on speaker boxes and, seeing all of those things. One of the DJs from the sound system was the one who actually taught me how to mix. You understand? So Diwali is also the rhythm that I learned to mix on.
Oh, iconic.
Yes, very iconic. Very, very iconic. So, it's a blessing. The journey is really a blessing,
Man, well, I love it, because what it's done is it's brought us to today. The new single that you've done in the collaboration with Jar 9, and you've done an incredible rework of the iconic John Holt's Police and Helicopter. So tell me, how did that track, how was it born? How did that start as a project for you?
All right, well, it says Subatomic, big up Emsh, seeing him link me up and say, him bridging have this new label, and, them want to put out a remake of John Holt Police and Helicopter. They want me to sing it. So, right away I was like, all right, yeah, for sure, but I'm not sure if I really hear myself on the hook still. You see me? So, I shut up my verse them and tell him, say, all right, I'm gonna link Janine. She was the first person that came to mind that, I heard rendition in John Holt with a proper vibe. So, me link Janine, and, thankfully she agreed to do it, because, when you're remaking a hit song, you really have to come good. You understand what I say? So, it's a blessing, man. Me just shut up my verse them and send it to her, and she feel the verse them naturally, which, agree to do it as well, because if the verses were weak, then, me I say. So, big up Janine. You see what I say? Big up Subatomic, big up Yardbirds Records, 12 Yard Records on my label.
Absolutely, man. This is absolutely incredible work on that one, because one thing I thought was really important as well, like, as you said, you heard Jar9 for the hook. You knew that even though you were the one who'd been asked to do it, you could hear her doing it instead. So is that where your sort of brain as a producer and a DJ would kick in at that point? Like, how do you differentiate Yaadcore, the vocal artist, and your history as a producer and DJ? Like, how do you know when to differentiate?
All right, Gully B. So this is where I've been blessed now, I've been blessed with a DJ ear, seeing that, translates into a producer ear, which translates into an artist ear. You understand? So that is where, me know what sound can work in the dance. You understand what I say? From me, if me sing it, me must can play it. And the DJ that I am, I'm never biased with music. You understand what I say? I keep it real 100 with myself all the time, no matter which artist. So that is how I kind of guide myself being an artist as well. You get what I say? Yeah, so if a producer send me a rhythm, if me wouldn't play the rhythm, me not go voice pan and not move me. You understand what I say? So it's just a blessing, man.
Well, man, it's definitely something that I love. Like, you can hear how that sort of brain power of yours has kind of come from that Aroma mixtapes that you started off doing back in the day, and how you bring it into the productions and now the vocal talent of today. So was Jar9 like the obvious pick for you? Did you know that that's the direction you wanted to take it with Subatomic Sound System? Yeah,
Jar9 was the only one who I kind of really hear, because I wanted a female as well. You understand what I say? And, of the modern day singers, she really hear with the wailing sound there. You understand what I say? Yeah, man, and Jar9 me here. So it was written.
Wow, it's an absolutely incredible track, and I just love how you stayed true to the original culture, as well as, again, revolution in the sound. That's something that Yaadcore is known for. You bring the original elements to modern day. And one thing I really love about pretty much every single track you've ever sent me is most of them always have a dub mix on. There's never just one track. I normally always get a dub mix from you as well. So how important it is for you to stay true to dub and create dub elements in your music?
All right, so dub is a thing where, transform Yaadcore into what you know now as Yaadcore. You understand? So I always gotta stay true to that element there. Dub is also one of my influences why I want it for my artists. See, because when I transition to straight reggae and I play the song them, and then I play the dub version after, fans would always say, yo, chant a song, sing a song, you know what I say? And, at the time I was unable, you understand? And I never really liked that, you understand? So I always did want to enhance my show for be able to, chat on the rhythm them same way. And, my biggest influence for that as well is Mikey Dread. Seeing, because him is the first DJ to have a reggae radio show in Jamaica. Seeing, and him is a producer. And him is an artist. Understand? So when I see film accolades, then I say, this are me in this time. You understand what I say? So, rest in power, Mikey Dread. And yeah, man, it's a joy, as we say.
Well, I'm glad that you tapped on that as well, because you're here on the Gully B show, and something we always do with the artists we interview is we need their top 5. And the thing is, you actually are a selector and a DJ in yourself. That's how you came up. Normally when I'm asking the artists on the show to pick their top 5, they haven't been a selector before, but you are, and I need to know, man. Show us your greatness here. What's some 5 songs that we're going to go for? What do you want your top pick to be in the top 5 today?
All right, so my top pick are gonna be the original Mikey Dread, same way seeing, you know, this one called Roots and Culture. Yeah, cause we stay true to our roots and culture.
Tell me about when you first heard Mikey Dread and how you knew that was going to influence you.
If I'm being honest with you, I can't remember the first time I heard Mikey Dread. But when I heard him, I definitely did connect with him on a different level. You know, his style of delivery is a little bit different, you know, a little unorthodox, and him just in his own style, you understand what I say? So that really did catch me, as well as Mikey Dread production. Mikey Dread production them is like no other, and him produce most of him stuff same way, so you know, we'll have to rate Mikey Dread, you know.
Mikey Dread, absolute icon, rests in power. So I need to know, what do you want to jump in for today, Yaadcore, as your second pick of the top 5?
Alright, well, I'm gonna go Israel Vibration, seeing same song. And this song now mean a lot to me, because when I start forward in a Rastafari, you know, this are the song, one of the songs that we usually play daily. Seeing now there with the good vibration.
Israel Vibration, the same song, and I'm just loving Aston Family Man's bass line on that one. Like, how important was it when you first heard like the bass lines on these kind of tunes on sound systems?
All right, so you know, so that is one thing me love about Jamaican culture on a different level. The sound system, seeing when the sound I play is like you can't get the vibration there out of, you know, some little monitors. So like in a dubwise, one thing me always ensure seeing is that we have a sound system string up. You understand what I say? So yeah, the bass line on that tune there is like no others. Me say the sound system carry the bass line well heavier, last you in the music. You get what I say? So yeah, man, big up the sound system culture originated right here in Jamaica.
I love the fact that sound system has taken it all over the world. Here in the UK, I can definitely speak for it. When we look at it's like resurgence of drum and bass and jungle music, that came from Jamaican sound system culture, and it's impacted so much to the rest of the world. Hip hop came from sound system culture at the end of the day. If it wasn't for people in the 70s putting massive speakers on top of each other in New York, like DJ Kool Herc throwing parties, who was also Jamaican, we wouldn't even have hip hop. So Jamaica is the birthplace of all these genres of music, and I'm so glad that you can tap into the culture of it.
Yeah, man, you know, as you said earlier, Jamaica is a melting pot of culture. You know, it's like the root. And, you know, when you plant the root, you're going to have different branches forward out. You see what I say? So, big up Kool Herc and big up the item in the UK where, you know, preserve the sound system culture, because, you know, we are get a fight in Jamaica with the sound system cultures. So, it's good to see, you know, people be influenced all over the world and I preserve all. You see me?
Absolutely, man. So with that in mind then, as a selector, Yaadcore, what's the third pick of the top 5 today?
Alright, so I'll go with Sizzla Kalonji, seeing Solid as a Rock, and to me this is one of the biggest albums of my time. Seeing after this album, I don't think there is a bigger album than this Sizzla Kalonji, The Real Thing. And I can remember driving to school when this album was out and just play the CD at like 13, 14, 15. You understand? So the album is really big up Sizzla Kalonji, Solid as a Rock.
One of my personal all-time favorite artists and one of my personal favorite all-time songs by Sizzla Kalonji, that was Solid as a Rock. So for you, what was the influence of Sizzla like for you? Because, you know, me being a guy in the UK, just kind of seeing it from afar sort of thing. What was it like having Sizzla as a day-to-day like recurrence of hearing him in the streets?
Boy, as I tell you, every day, you know, in a high school as a little youth, before me even know about Rastafari and a conscious level, or even, thinking about Rastafari for myself. We connect with Sizzler, driving to school every day. So, it goes to show that the conscious, whether Rasta or not Rasta, you understand? And as me say, that are one of the biggest album them of my time. When this album dropped, I was a young teenager, so as me say, never really exposed to the outside world as much. You get to me, I say, but yeah, man, Caesar Kalonji, legendary, and him influence a lot of people to sight up Rastafari for themselves as well.
Absolutely, man. I'm so glad you picked it because it's one of my favorite all-time reggae songs ever. So it's been an absolute joy to play that on the show today. So with that in mind, what do you want to go for as the fourth pick of your top 5 today?
All right, so I'll go across with another Mikey called Swak. Yeah, the album is called Swak as well, but this one, really love the production on this one, how he used the harmonies and the horns and everything. It really touched me,
Mikey Dread with Swak, aka Sealed with a Loving Kiss. Absolutely incredible album, incredible track from the album, and I'm so glad you picked it on the show today, Yaadcore. So kind of going forward, like you said how Mikey Dread's productions influenced you today, like what would you say is the key thing you've learned from his productions and the way you make music today?
All right, so Mikey always have a heavy bass line. The drum and bass always heavy. You understand? It's not no ping pong thing, that roots radic sound there is what I'm really always go with. But him also can swing it with a little R&B feel as well as a rugged feel. So, my main thing is drum and bass. You see me, everything else is just coloring and the pretty vibration. But from you have a solid drum and bass, then you're good.
Man, well, I love that about your work as well, because when we look at tracks that you've released in the past, like, like Tension, The Calling, Right Now, even like on things like No Thank You, tracks like that, like you can hear just how strong that bass line carries through. And I'm so glad that Mikey Dread was one of the influences you had when you first started producing these kind of rhythms.
Yeah, man, we have to pay keen attention to the sound, as me say. Being a DJ, I have a certain style, a certain kind of music what I like. So anything when I produce, anything when I sing, I must be able to play it as well.
Absolutely.
We not drop the standard just because it's my production or it's my song. You see me?
Well, that's why I love the fact that the music that you make is timeless. Like, I know that where we see things like dancehall music, for example, sometimes, these will just be party hits and there'll be like a burst of like explosion at the time for everyone to love. And then they kind of like fizzle out over time. Whereas I feel as if your music, like now, we look at tracks like The Calling and we look at saying things like No Thank You. I will still play that today, even though it's a few years old now. And it's just because it's timeless, high quality music. And I feel as if that's definitely something that we can rely on you every time for.
Yeah, man, we say we're not drop the standard no time at all. From the DJ standard to the production scene to the artist standard, timeless music is key, so it will always be relevant, it will always be fresh. You understand what I say? It's not just for the time, but it's for a time. You understand what I say?
You've kept the standard high as well as a selector on today's show, because we're at time to hit the fifth and final pick of Yaadcore's top 5. So how do you want to close it off today? What's the fifth pick you want to draw for?
All right, so talking about Rastafari and music, there's no way you cannot talk about Akebeka, aka Midnight. You understand? The great teacher of, living upful, living righteous, through reggae music, through music on a whole. You understand? And this song, Maintain, was another song we usually beat daily, seeing, when we just a sight up far right same way. And, it's all about balance and maintain, as the song title suggests. Because they said timeless. You understand? Not just for two things to do is maintain. So that's how we are deal with.
So Yaadcore, that was some incredible selections that you've had on today's show. And I know that's something that you've being a selector first, being a DJ first before becoming a producer, before becoming an artist as a vocal talent in your own right, you kind of been like dipping into all these melting pots of style. So what's coming for the future in 2021 and beyond for Yaadcore? Because I know that you're still just getting started as a vocal talent, man, but you've been in this game for a while.
Straight. So yeah, we have a whole heap of things forward in the Jan9 single, Police in a Helicopter. That's forwarding on the upcoming LP. So that are the next big thing I look forward to, for kind of give the people a body of work so them can see, say, me is not just a DJ, but I also can DJ.
Yeah.
So you get what I say? But yeah, so we have the Jan9 where I shoot the video for NyQuil. That's Spliff a Light Spliff. Where I shoot the video for that, and we have the remix I go forward out on the LP as well. Yeah, and that's featuring Richie Spice.
Wow.
The high grade king.
The king of intros, as he's been called. Everyone says that Richie Spice does the best intros.
No, yeah.
You'll never forget Richie Spice intros.
Bro, just cool, man. So, big things are forward, man. We just pray for life, health, and strength. You understand? That's all.
Well, Yaadcore, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you here on the Gully B Show today.
Okay, all right. Yes, Gully B, give thanks to everybody who tune in, represent radio. Yaadcore, they I represent live and direct from JA. And we're not play. Bless you.